International webinar. Today, today we have connected two speakers. One is from Germany and another is from Delhi NCR from YMCA College. Also, we have support of AKS team. This is the international webinar which is organized with the help of Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Biotechnology. This is the association and the event is going on in the Department of Computer Science and Department of Biotechnology. So this is international webinar. I'm welcoming all of you to please be a part of this webinar. As you know, we are starting our webinar at 10 a.m. sharp and our experts are stay connected. So please be a part of it. Uh, Today we are covering two great session. One is BioSignal processing using R language. R programming language is the latest one technology in which you are learning biosignaling. So this session will be beneficial for both the stream computer science and biotechnology. Similarly, latest trends come with Python, and Python is the domain by which we can connect hardware and software, means the integration or embed technology of computers and hardware. So Python is also a latest trend. So we welcome all of you to be a part of this international webinar. Thank you very much. People are still connecting. Also, we have connected Dr. R.S. Rao from Delhi itself, Ambedkar Institute of Technology, Delhi. So I am welcoming him also. So a formal welcome will be done after the session starts by Brijesh Soni. So today's moderator is Brijesh Soni sir. I would like to transfer the control to Brijesh Soni sir, but please remember there will be a feedback form. It will be automatically released at the time of delivering of this session. Please stay on AKS University web portal and refresh your screen to see whether form is active or not. It is attendance come feedback form by which you can put your attendance and give feedbacks, valuable feedbacks to us. So please, Brajesh Soni, now it's your platform. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for this opportunity. A very good morning. This is Brijesh Soni, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science at AKS University, India. And now this is the time for expressing my heartily welcome to my all guest experts, professors, and dear students. In today's session, we have two experts from uh, in today's session we have two world-renowned and prestigious experts, Mr. Balachandar Kaliappan from Germany and Ms. Sydney Chawla from New Delhi. Now I'm going to introduce expert Mr. Balachandar Kaliappan. Dear sir, you have really a personality in psychology and management. You are currently working as research staff and teaching staff in the School of Management at Technical University of Munich, Germany. And you have also served at Sona International Business School, India, and you you got your master's in consumer psychology from Bangor's University, United Kingdom, and you also did your master in business administration from Abdul Rahman University, India, and your areas of interest includes neuromarketing, neuroeconomics, behavioral economics, and consumer decision making. And now I would like to introduce Ms. Simi Chawla, ma'am. Dear ma'am, you have really a tremendous personality in the domain of bio-inspired technology. You are currently working as research and teaching staff in the Department of Computer Engineering at JC Bose University of Science and Technology, formerly known as YMCA, Faridabad, Delhi NCR, India. And before that, you were working as head of department in Rukmini Devi Institute of Advanced Studies at Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasthi University, New Delhi, India. And you got your master in computer technology from Maharshi Dayanand University, Haryana, India. And your areas of interest includes artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, and Python programming. And that's it. And now I would like to transfer control to our expert, Mr. Balachandar Kaliappan. So please, Bala sir, continue the session.
Sorry for disturbing. Bala sir, I need some introduction. We have Dr. R.S. Roy is also connected. So can I introduce him first? Then we'll go for the question. And of course, we have Dr. Kamlesh Chaure with us. So please, we are continuing our session after that. So we have connected Dr. Ram Srinagar Rao with us. He is associate professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering. सर अभी अंबेडकर इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजीज एंड रिसर्च न्यू दिल्ली में कार्यरत हैं. सर ने अपना पीएचडी जेएनयू से कंप्लीट किया. सर काफी रिसर्च पेपर्स में चीफ एडिटर्स और चेयर एंड मेंबर के रूप में कार्यरत हैं. इनका जो रिसर्च इंटरेस्ट एरिया है मोबाइल एडॉक नेटवर्क और वेहिकुलर एडॉक नेटवर्क है. इन्होंने 100 से भी ज्यादा अच्छे रिसर्च पेपर्स, गुड इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर रिसर्च पेपर्स पे अपने पेपर पब्लिश किए हैं. इनकी पहुंच IEEE, स्प्रिंजर और इस जैसे नामी इंटरनेशनल पेपर्स और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से है. मैं चाहूंगा कि आज उनके 2 मिनट वो ब्लेसिंग्स हमारे साथ शेयर करें ताकि हम इस इवेंट को आगे बढ़ा सकें. सो डॉक्टर राव, प्लीज गिव योर ब्लेसिंग्स विद अस. डॉक्टर राव, एम आई ऑडिबल? सर म्यूट हटाना होगा आपको. प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ. जब तक डॉक्टर राव हमसे कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं, आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर कमलेश चौरे. आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर कमलेश चौरे, हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, टू प्लीज ब्लेस द पार्टिसिपेंट्स and motivate them for their future and this session.
Thank you, Dr. Akhilesh Rao, sir, and very good morning to all of you. And once again, I heartily welcome all of you, especially Mr. Balachandar Kaliappan sir and Simi Chawla madam, to this session. And I think I just discuss some things with the Balachandar, and I found that this area that is related with BioSignal processing using R and also IoT, Internet of Things related by using Python. These areas are very important for all of us in future. So because technologies are evolving day by day, every day, and it is very necessary, just like a evolution in our human life and this nature. So we have to learn new things and we have to create novel types of technologies. Last night I was hearing Mr. Sundar Pichai from CEO Alphabet, and his dream is that we have to evolve day by day because we need a new type of technology day by day for our needs, for fulfilling of our needs. So I request everyone from our university and all the participants who are attending this program, and attend these sessions, and because these are very important sessions, we will learn new things. Of course, myself, I am also learning new things here. So I request everyone, please attend it sincerely and for the benefits of ourselves and also for the society. So I request both the speakers, please elaborate everything in basic manner. Don't go in in like any scientific manner, because mostly the participants are students here, so they will learn basics firstly, so that they can easily connect with these two areas. So I heartily welcome once again all of you, and thank you very much, Dr. Akhilesh, for giving me the space to talk with all the audience and the speakers. Now I'm again handing over the mic to the Dr. Akhilesh for convening the session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Now, Dr. G.K. Pradhan, Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, is with us. We need blessings of him also. Dr. G.K. Pradhan, over to you.
Very good morning to all of you. I must congratulate team Dr. Wau and Dr. Chore for this joint venture. Because so far all the webinars held were all single-handedly managed by our CSIT department. Now biotech has come into, and this is a very good step. Interdepartmental cooperation is the order of the day, and biotech is totally hovering all over the world around information technology. If you eliminate or if you bypass IoT or computer application, biotech will not have any meaning in this current world. Although they are doing fundamentally some of the best work, but CSIT provides them extra privilege for its logical conclusion. And today is the time of Corona, when both these departments have got a very important role in our society. This program on BioSignal processing using RNA and IoT using Python, and to be conducted by some of the guests, Ms. Simi Chawla and Mr. Balchandar Kaliappan. I welcome them, and AKS University provides an excellent platform to all its students and faculty members to enrich their knowledge through webinar. This is a series of, this is the last part of the webinar being held today, and Dr.
Yes,
Wau, as he has told me, this will bring in some more informative things, more relevant to today's perspective. With these words, I welcome all of you and wish the program a success. Thank you very much.
thank you very much, sir.
Hello.
I think Dr. R.S. Rao is with us. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need your blessings also. He is from New Delhi, Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Technology, Engineering and Technology. So please, sir, convey your message.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm audible there?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Be present here. I hope you are doing well and be safe during this lockdown period to this COVID-19. First of all, I thanks to the nature, researchers, scientists, and technology professionals who have given us such a wonderful networking platform through which we are interacting with each other. We are sharing information, sharing knowledge with each other during this pandemic too. I think, or you can say, even though classes are closed, university and colleges are closed, but still we are sharing our knowledge and information to each other. Whatever today we think we can do using the technology. Today we have very strong and advanced communication systems and advanced technology. So whatever we think, whatever we want to do, we can do very easily, and we can do anything at any time, because this age is basically information technology. This age is basically computer age, or you can say machine age. So in this age, it is difficult to say what is impossible for the dream of yesterday is the hope of today and the reality of tomorrow. So it means we can say that if we are using strong communication technology advanced technologies, so we can share information, we can share a lot of knowledge, even such type of pandemic too. So I thanks to Dr. Achilles and his team, basically organizing team. They have invited me to say something here. And I congratulate to all the organizing that they are going to organize such type of wonderful program. So it's a welcome and thanks to all of you. And my wishes with you all. Please continue and go ahead. Whenever you can ask me to say something, definitely I will be there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir, for your association with us. Now over to Brajesh, sir.
Thank you so much.
Now I would like to request to Chairman sir for his few words as a blessing. Chairman sir.
सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। बालाचंद्र जी, राव साहब, आई थिंक नमिता मैडम भी इसमें जुड़ी हुई हैं और बाकी लोग जो हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के हैं, अखिलेश सर, चौरे जी और जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, टीचर्स हैं, सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। ये लगभग 15 दिनों से जो विश्वविद्यालय में डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस और दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट्स के साथ मिल करके कुछ सेमिनार्स, वेबिनार्स जो चल रहे हैं, लगातार टेक्नोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट पे जिधर कोई ध्यानी बच्चों को नॉर्मली वो चीजें नहीं मिल पाती, बड़े बड़े एक्सपर्ट से जो कम्युनिकेशन हो पा रहा है या उनके व्यूज जान पा रहे हैं, तो ये एक बहुत बढ़िया कार्यक्रम चल रहा है पिछले 15 दिनों से। आज उसका अंतिम दिन है, तो मैं सबको पहले तो शुभकामनाएं देता हूं कि आप लोगों ने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया, धन्यवाद देता हूं और आगे फिर से दोबारा ऐसी सीरीज स्टार्ट कर दें। मेरी ऐसी इच्छा है कि विश्वविद्यालय में ये कोई एंड नहीं है कि 15 दिन में हमने कोई सारी चीजें कवर कर ली है, लेकिन हमने बहुत कुछ कवर करने की कोशिश की और बहुत आगे भी कवर करेंगे अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट्स के माध्यम से। बायोसिग्नल एक ऐसा फील्ड है कि उसको जब तक हम आईटी से मिला करके नहीं काम करें, हर ह्यूमन या कोई भी लिविंग क्या कहा जाए, लिविंग चीजें हैं, वह हर सिग्नल देती हैं, चाहे वो इंटरनल सिग्नल हो चाहे वो एक्सटर्नल सिग्नल्स हो। उसको पकड़ करके आज दिमाग में आदमी क्या सोच रहा है, इसकी भी सिग्नलिंग जो लाई डिटेक्टर्स हैं, हम अंदर क्या सोच रहे हैं वो सिग्नल देता है और उस सिग्नल को डिटेक्ट करके कंप्यूटर के माध्यम से हम उसको दिखा पाते हैं कि नहीं ये सही बोल रहा है कि झूठ बोल रहा है। तो ऐसे तमाम चीजें हैं जिनको कि हम एक इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी क्या कहा जाए इसको, इंटरेक्शन के माध्यम से हम लोगों तक पहुंच सकते हैं और इन बच्चों को बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म हम दे सकते हैं आप लोगों के एक्सपर्ट्स के माध्यम से। आगे चल करके बच्चों का इसमें कैरियर बन सकता है। मैं सभी को शुभकामनाएं देता हुआ, और मैं खुद इसको अभी पूरा वॉच करूंगा क्योंकि बायोसिग्नल्स के बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा ही जानता हूं कि उसको आप लोग उसको किस नजरिए से देखते हैं एक्सपर्ट्स के माध्यम से, मैं उसको समझने की कोशिश करूंगा। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Now, Balachandra, sir, your platform. Please share your knowledge with us and our students.
Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to you all. Can anyone just confirm it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so good morning to everyone. I also thank Professor Dr. Akhilesh, Professor Dr. Kamalesh, and Chairman and Soni sir and other fellow colleagues. And also I thank Mr. Brajesh for providing me an opportunity to share my learnings that I had with Technical University Munich on biosignal processing using R programming. And in today's session, we will cover a few aspects. And may Hindi thoda malam hai, like, hence I might be just sticking on to speaking in English. And so please I'm really sorry for that. And in today's session, what we will see is like we'll see what is a biosignal, and then also we'll look at what are the different types of biosignal. And I am specialized in eye tracking, so I'll talk about how we can use eye tracking as a biosignal. And also I'll provide you an idea of what are the eye tracking devices that we have in the modern world, and what kind of measures we can extract from the eye tracker. And later on, I'll focus on how to analyze the data that you get from the eye tracker using R programming. And where I'll talk about, I'll just show you a demonstration of the R Studio. And further, I'll move on. And at the end of the session, I'll talk about the career opportunities available for students who wish to take such learning in terms of want to process BioSignal, or if you want to do R programming. Okay, so let's get into the first phase where we'll try to understand BioSignal first. So a BioSignal is anything, any kind of signal from a living being, which is like a human or maybe from an animal as well, and which can be continuously measured and monitored. And something like your breath, or it's like your heartbeat, and even your sweat can also be a biosignal. And in general, the biosignal is referred to the bioelectric signals, which in the sense it talks about the cells, right? In each and every human body, like every part of human body is made up of cells, and these cells communicate each other with the electrical impulse, right? And this can be captured by some devices and can be measured. Hence, what biosignal in general means is the bioelectric signals that is produced by your body. But there are also some non-electrical signals, and which means your sweat cannot be an electrical signal. It can be it's a non-electrical signal. And even the eye movement is not an electrical signal. It's like you are looking at some product, or you are looking at this presentation now, and you will focus on few elements here, especially like the ones that are bolded here. The biosignal is highlighted, hence your eyes will go and look at that particular point. And which means your eye has a movement, and this movement is also a signal to understand what you're looking and why you are looking at that. And this is a non-electric signal. If you really understand, so biosignal can be categorized into two. One is electric signal and non-electric signal, but both of them are really necessary to understand. Okay, and there are different types of biosignal, even if you look from the broader category, and which I mentioned earlier is the bioelectric signal. And it's just, for example, say if you go to a hospital, in the hospital you can see a monitor which measures your heart rate and your pulse, and that is captured with the electrocardiogram. And your brain will also produce some sort of signals. In a sense, your brain has a lot of connected networks. They are called as neural networks, especially in your field, in the field of technology aspects. You can see it's called as neural networks. And these neural networks will also emit some sort of electrical signals. This can be captured with electroencephalogram. And similarly, you have electrocardiogram and electromyogram, and these things differ in terms of the aspect that they measure. But how this is measured, because each and every cell in your body has some sort of action potential. And if you want to move your hand, you are basically sending signal to the hand receives some sort of signal from the brain, and then the brain commands the hand to be moved. And this is basically some sort of action potential that is happening in your brain. And once that action potential is happening, and that directs the hands to move, and that is how the movement takes place. And there are other signals apart from bioelectric signals, like biochemical signals. And you can see your glucose level in your body and your iron, calcium in your body, and they are all biochemical signals. It talks about whether your body is doing good or bad. And if you're having higher sugar level, and you might be called as diabetic. Okay, and that is an indication of saying that your body is getting into a problem, and you identify that by some test, and then you understand, okay, I think now I need to do a lot of exercise. And later on, there is some aspect called as biomechanical signals, and especially when your body is flexing or when you're jumping or running, and the biomechanical signals are emitted. And in this case, for example, say we know Usain Bolt, who is the record holder for the 100 meters race. And this person can be easily studied to show how this person is able to move his body faster compared to any other human being. And for that, there are specialized technologies, whether you can use a camera to see how his body is moving, and also the angle of his legs, and also his posture and other things to understand how this guy is actually able to make a world record. And similarly, you also have bioacoustic signals, and they are called as heartbeat and respiration. Right? You respirate every single day, and also your heart is functioning all through your life. Right? Hence, this also serves as a signal to understand how we are performing. Right? If you have problem with your respiration, like the doctor, when you go to a hospital, the doctor basically checks your respiration rate, and if your respiration rate has some sort of problem, and then he identifies it, and then finds that, okay, I think now you're having fever, or it's like now you're having asthma or something like that. Okay. And the other aspect is called as bio-optical signals. And in the sense, they're not really evident in terms of your body, but whenever there is some external measure applied, for example, say if I introduce a chemical into your body and then I can track it, and for example, say even in your body, blood test, and we will apply some external chemicals to the blood and then see whether there's a color change, and this color change will indicate how your body is performing well, and that is actually called as bio-optic signals. And the last phase of the types in biosignal is non-bioelectrical signals, and in this case we have skin response and eye movement. As I told you, imagine that you are now meeting a lion just in front of you. Right? Not me, because I'm just delivering a lecture, but imagine that there's a lion in front of you. And now what happens is that because of the fear that you're going to encounter, and your body will sweat, and that will produce a kind of signal, because there is adrenaline pumping up, and because the adrenaline pumping up, and what happens is that your body tries to produce sweat, and this can be understood, right? And as Professor Dr. Kamlesh mentioned, right, we always have some sort of signal emitted, and in terms of many other ways and means. And so the skin response is also one other signal where we can identify, okay, how, and also like what Chairman and Sony said, and we can easily find whether some person is telling a lie or whether he's telling a truth just because with the skin response. And today's session, as I mentioned to you, will focus only on eye movement. Okay, how your eyes go here and there, and that can be captured with the device called as eye tracking. Okay, we'll talk about that in detail. And now I'm moving to the session from the types of biosignal to the eye tracking as a biosignal. And what is eye tracking? And this is a bit tricky, right? So you have two eyeballs here, and this can be, this is moving here and there. And when I shake my hand here, now you're not focusing on my face, now you're focusing on my hand, because my hands is showing some sort of movement. And the movement of your eye can be tracked by a device. Okay. And what does it track? It basically tracks where you're looking relative to the position of your head, or where you're really focusing on. Okay. And the focusing point is called as gaze. Okay. And we'll look in depth about eye tracking now. So in the initial days when eye tracking was evolved, and when it evolved, and that is actually developed by a person called Yarbus, and he developed an eye tracker. And this eye tracker is this setup. You can see quite cameras here, and if you want to look it on the left-hand side of the image, and you can see there are two cameras attached, and there is one place where you can have your heads planted on it. Right? So any person who wants to be tracked, whose eyes wants to be tracked, basically go and sit there, and they will keep their head stand still. And when they keep their heads stand still, and then the cameras will capture the movements of the eye, and that will be tracked. So this is the first basic setup of eye tracking. Now we have modern developed eye trackers, but we should also know how this eye tracker is essential, why it is essential to understand human decision making. Okay, so now we have an example to show the importance of eye tracking. Okay, you can see there's a picture here, which is on the left hand corner top, and there are a lot of people in the scene. Okay, and this is a home where you can see a lot of couple of visitors, and then a person standing here. There's a kid here, and now people, the researcher Yarbus asked, okay, just have a look at this picture with your own ideas and opinion. And this is the movement of the eye that is captured with the device. Okay? So this line represents how the eye moved from one place to other place. Okay, and then what Yarbus asked is like, okay, now estimate the material circumstances in the family. Okay, just look at the picture and say whether they are poor or rich, and that's the case. When that was shown, when that task was given, and people did not look at people, but they basically looked at the dress of the people and the objects that are around the house, which you can see here, right? So there are like a lot of dark patterns here, and this represents, which means like people have placed their eyes in this part of the image. And next, what Yarbus asks is like, maybe don't look at the material possessions, but just try to look at the try to find the age of the people. He never asked people to look at the faces, but he said, okay, there are quite a lot of people, but can you just find the age of people? And when this task was given, and people, you can see, basically looked at the face of the people and represent here, because it's quite dark here. And they also placed their eyes here, but not especially on the face. When the task was given, like, okay, just look at, find the age of people, people normally look at the face of people. In a sense, if you want to estimate my age, you will not look at my body, but you will just look at my face, whether as like, whether I look young or whether I look old is represented in on my face, right? Which you can also see, the Hollywood actors are not, though they are really aged, they are keeping their face young and fresh, and that's why they are still able to be more charming on the screens. And then there were other tasks like, okay, remember the clothes worn by people, and when it was given, and people normally look at the cloth of people, which you can also see here, how they have looked at. Now they are not looking at the face, but they're just looking at the cloth people are wearing. So what happens is that your eye movement depends upon the object, or say objective that you're having. You have some sort of goal in your mind. Imagine that you're going to a shop and you want to buy milk, and your eyes will move around fast, and then you'll try to find where milk is, and it will fixate at that position and then find the milk. Okay, and these things happen in milliseconds, and that has to be captured, and this has to be studied. Okay, and then also one other interesting aspect that you are supposed to look at this research is that, and the last part of this slide, part of this image saying like, looking at the image, try to find how long they were separated. Okay, imagine that they are coming, and imagine they are separated for a long time. Okay, I'm in Germany now. I'm separated from my family for like 1 year, which means if I try and meet them for the first time, and the researcher is asking, okay, looking at the image, try to find how long they are separated. Okay. And now what happens is that people are not looking at each and every individual. They are looking at how one person is looking at the other person, right? And you can see they are basically placing their eyes here, and then just moves on to here, and then to here and to here. And since they are trying to connect people. and looking at how the emotions are shared. And that's the importance of eye tracking. And that's the biosignal that we need to understand how the behavior of people. And this is the modern eye tracker, and which you can find. There are two biosignals that is tracked here, and this is the eye tracker. This measures the movement of the eye, and the one that you can see here is the electroencephalogram. This is actually a mobile EEG. That's why it is a small m EEG here. And this measures the brain waves that is emitted because of some sort of decision that people are making. And now this guy is looking at the monitor, and then he'll say how many orange triangles are there, and that will be tracked by the eye movements will be tracked by the eye tracker, and the brain waves will be directed by this EEG. And there are different eye trackers evolved over the time. And this is Tobii Pro X3, and this is available in our university. And here, the eye tracker is in the earlier case, the eye tracker is attached to a monitor and it is fixated. Right? But if you want to move the eye tracker and then you want to use it in some other places, and this is far more helpful. So this eye tracker can be carried by you, and you can place it in any lab or like even at the home of the participant, and then measure their eye movements. And later on, they also came up with this Tobii Pro glasses. Okay, this is from a company, but still this is a mobile eye tracking device. And in the earlier cases, if you look at this image, and here you can see this is fixated. Again, even in this case, this is fixated. People have to sit in one place and their eyes will be measured. But it is not the normal scenario, right? You will normally go to a store and then you will make some decisions, and this has to be captured. And if you want to capture that one, you need a mobile eye tracker. And this is quite similar to the spectacles. And now you can see this is not an eye tracker, but this is my spectacles here. And similar to the spectacle that I wear, and the eye tracker will also have a camera on the top here. And there will be a lot of sensors around, and this will basically capture your eye movements. And you might have a question like, how do they really do it, right? And that will be answered here, and how your eyes are tracked. And as an engineer in your university, you should understand there are two propositions that you can take from the image. Okay, I'll talk through that one by one. Here you can see there's an eye tracker, and that's similar to the ones that I showed here, right? And here you can see this eye tracker will capture the movement of eye. But what this eye tracker does is this will basically emit infrared lights to the eyes, and this infrared light will produce some sort of pattern on your eyes. And later on, this pattern will be captured by a camera that is available in the eye tracker. And with the information that the eye tracker gets, it will process your data and then finds where your eyes are fixated. And now you can see in this picture, and she's looking at this point, like point X, and this X is the gaze point. And that's the place where she places her eye. She is focusing on that point, and that will be captured and detected by the device. So I told about two propositions, right? As an engineer, either you can work in the area of eye tracking, so you can get into the area of like developing algorithms for eye trackers to especially find the eye movements, right? In terms of getting the data. And the other proposition is that, okay, you can apply this eye tracking device and collect data, and this data can be processed to understand decision making of people, how people decide, what they decide, and other things. Okay, and so I think predominantly as an engineer, you will have a lot of scope here in this area where the eye tracker is here, and this eye tracker will basically look at your eye movement, and this needs a lot of refinement. So at the moment, it is quite constrained, and participants are supposed to keep their head still, and when they just move around, and it cannot really capture the eye movement. Hence, the engineers definitely have a lot of scope in fixing this issue, where eye tracker should be able to capture at different angles. Even if participants move their head like this or even this, that should be captured clearly, and quite a lot of scope is available as an engineer to shape that one up. Or you can also become like an kind of an applied engineer like me, where I just get the data from the eye tracker and then I process it. So how do I process it? I'll just let you know. Before processing, we should also understand what are the measures that we can get from eye tracking. And in general, in the eye tracking, you're supposed to say which are the areas of interest. Okay, and the areas of interest I refer to, for example, say in this particular slide, the logo of my university, the Technical University of Munich, might be my areas of interest. Okay, so I'll place some sort of box over there, and the eye trackers will capture it. And I'll also show you a practical example of that one later on. And next one is called as fixations. And what do I call it as fixation? Imagine you are looking at one particular place for a longer time, and that is called as a fixation. In this case, in most of the places where you are having bold letters, and your eyes will normally go to that point, and then you will stay in that point for a long time. So when you stay in that point for a long time, that is called as fixation. But when you're reading, you will not know, your eye movement is not normally fixated at one point. You will also rapidly move your eyes. And when you rapidly move your eyes, and that is called as a saccade. Okay. And how long you fix at one place and how long you stay at one place is called as fixation duration or fixation time. And if you're moving from point A to point B and point B to point A, in this transition, this is called as transition. Okay, you will understand a bit more about that in an example. And there are other measures, like you can also see how the eye is dilating, right? If you look at cat's eye, and it dilates in a very different way, right? And if you take a light and focus it on the cat's eye, and the pupil will normally shrink down to a thin line. But if you move the light away from the eye, and what happens is that the cat can widen up the pupil to draw more light into the eye, and then it will be able to see clearly in the dark. So similarly, human eyes are like that. Your pupil eyes have some sort of muscle called as pupil, and that will basically open up or go down, and this will allow some sort of light. So when it's wide and opened up, that normally happens in a dark light scenario. So to draw more light. Okay, when you're in your bedroom and the lights are off, and what happens is that your pupil will enlarge to get more light in. In the other case, when you're in the darks, when you're in the white bright sun, and what happens is that your eyes will not dilate; it will shrink down to receive only little amount of eye into it. We can also capture that one, and there are many other aspects that we can basically do with eye tracking. So let's have a practical example of all these things and how your eyes will move. Okay, so I talked about AO eyes, and imagine that you are designing a website for your client, but you do not really know where the people will look at. Okay, so what as a researcher we will do is we'll normally draw some sort of areas of interest. We assume that these are the areas of interest where people will look at, and we'll mention it here. And these are the boxes that was drawn by the researcher. And since you as a researcher, and you'll have to draw this line. This box will like if I am looking at this place, and this will be captured, and this will be shared to the eye tracker. But the areas of interest is basically drawn by the researcher. Okay, and I told about fixation and saccade. Okay, so and we'll also have some sort of example of that. And you can see there's a line that is going here, and then there are like several dots, and then there's a line going here. So this line is called as a saccade, and as I mentioned to you earlier, saccade is a rapid movement of your eye, but fixation is not a rapid movement. It's kind of you fixate at one place, and you have a lot of gaze onto that, and you can see there are a lot of dots. So within this object, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fixations happening. So which means you spend a lot of time in that object and then you look at it. Then from this object, you move to the other object here on your right side. And once you're moving from this place to other place, that's called as a saccade. And this line is called a saccade. This is a rapid movement of your eye. And if you want to really look in depth in terms of how this fixation and saccades are used, there are people who have some sort of learning difficulty, and people who have lesser learning difficulty, how they read text is different from people who are having higher disability to read. Okay, they are called as dyslexic people. And this is a movement of eye, this is the movement of eye of a person who is low risk to dyslexia. Where you can see he starts here. Okay, basically he starts here, and then he goes to the first line, and then he fixes his eye here, and that's why there's a round which is enlarged. And how long he fixes will be measured by the circumference of the circle. In the sense, if it is large, if the circle is quite large, which means he spent a lot of time in that particular point. And now you can see he's fixated at here, but he will not fix his eyes in the, throughout the sentence, but he'll also rapidly move his eyes. And that's the normal reading behavior of people. When you're reading a text, you will fixate at one point, then you will move faster through the lines, fixing at several points. And here he fixes, later on he fixes here, and then he fixes here, and similarly he moves on from one place to other. That's how he reads. But this is not the same case when it's a person who have disability. When a person has disability and he fixates at one point for a long time because he wants to understand the sentence because of his learning problem. So he focuses this word for a long time and then he processes the word, and later on he goes and then reads from here to here. But each and every point he tries to get the information for a longer time because of his or her learning difficulty. Okay, and this is one practical research that you can basically understand why eye tracking research is important. And if you move on from the reading research to the research that is used by Google, and Google normally test this, use eye tracking test how people look at the portal. Okay, there's a Google search, and whenever you have some sort of queries, you normally go and search online, and that needs some sort of evidence to say whether Google search is what kind of information that you're looking after you search some specific query. Now we can see from the eye tracking data, I can also generate some sort of heat maps. The heat maps represents where people fixated more and where people fixated less. Okay, if you remember what I talked about fixation and then saccades, and these things can be represented as a heat map. And the orange here was like red to orange, and represents like people spent more time in that place. The green ones represents people spent less time over there. But there are places which is not really having any green or orange, and that's the place where people never looked at. Okay, so which means Google normally does a lot of research to understand how people are using this search engine results page to where people look at. And you can see people normally look at the first few results. Okay, which means that is why all the companies are asked to push their rankings, Google rankings higher. So if you are moving your rankings higher, and where in which your customers will also spend more time looking at your links, and then there's more possibility that they can also click. Okay, and this was studied and then this was understood by Google, and they are also doing some sort of research and understanding how this phenomenon is also happening with the mobile browsing. Okay, so there are a lot of papers, and if you're really interested, you can also go and have a look into it. Okay, and as I told you, there is another measure called as scan path replay. And scan path replay says where they started first and then where they finished their search. Okay, there is an image here, and when people are asked to find some sort of information, and people, if you look at, there are numbers here, and you can see this is number 1 because people start here, and then they move on to this, and then you can also see if you can find 3 somewhere, but you can also find 4 here, and simply this will say where they started and where they ended. Then this will tell you how people look at some sort of your website, or it's like your posters or pamphlets that you design for your college or for your university. And here you can see it starts here, and then at the end, if they decided to buy, and then they will fixate at this point, then they will click buy. Okay, so this is another application. And I'll show you one part of my research where I measured scan path, and this is all done in R programming. Okay, now you can see this is a kind of a decision choice set, and where you can have option A and option B, whether people can select car A or car B, but that is based on some of the information given here. But the price of this car is higher, but the price of the other car is lower. And you can now see that the lines are moving. These lines basically measure how the eyes are moving within the choice set. And they start from here, and because we wanted to start, we wanted our participants to start from here. And it starts from here, and then they will go and search for the title. And later on, since we, as an Indian, we are exposed to left to right reading habit, and they will always start from the left and move on to the right. And then you will also read from the top to down, not from the bottom up in general, right? And hence you can also see that pattern is also coming up here. And surprisingly, this line and this animation is done with R programming, and this is done by me for my research study, and which you can also do. Okay, and now it's the time for us to explore into R programming and then understand how this can be done. Okay, and in terms of R programming, there are quite a lot of packages available to analyze this eye tracking data. And for that, one is for data manipulation, and I think you will all normally get exposed to data manipulation because that is really important, because you will normally work with a lot of data structures. For data manipulation, there is a package called dplyr, and if you want to work with some sort of character data, then there is another package called string R. And if you want to plot some data, and there's a beautiful package called ggplot, which is quite equivalent to matplotlib, which is available in Python. And then you have gganimate. And in case if you want to build models and analyze, like imagine this might not please you as a student, but if you're a researcher and if you want to develop like linear regression models, and there are like quite a lot of packages, and like LME4 or LME test and psych package and car package to extract p-values. And this might not be of interest for the students, but these two at the moment, like if you're even just looking at getting into R programming, and learning about these packages will definitely help you. And now I think I'll move on to a kind of small demonstration of the data. So once you collect data from the eye tracking device, you will basically have a raw data like this. It will say whether who is the participant, and whether it is a fixation or a saccade. And I hope you remember what is fixation and saccade, and at what point. And this raw data is supposed to be transformed. And when I clean the data, and I will get the clean data like this. So this is the participant name, and what's the image that he looked at. And later on, it has whether it is a fixation or a saccade. And for my research, we normally work with fixations. And fixations, if there is fixation, that will be represented as a 1. And if it is not there, it is 0. But you can find a lot of NAs in this Excel sheet, almost like in the CSV file. Right? And this is basically which represents like there is no fixation at all on the AOIs. And so which means like people are never worried about it. And then still this data is supposed to be cleaned again. And then we'll normally get a data like this. Then this processing is still done in our program. Okay? And you can see a lot of information. And this is a bit tricky to understand, hence I'll just avoid that one. But now I'll go on and do some sort of R programming demonstration and show you how this works. For that, I need to move on to a new window, and so I'll stop sharing this PPT. I'll share that. I'll share a new screen which has R programming. Okay. Right. So I hope now you're able to see my screen, which is having RStudio. So this is the environment, and this is RStudio, which is for where you can code, which is called as an Interact IDE, where which is quite similar to Anaconda in Python, where you have an IDE over there as well. And here you can see I'm writing some sort of code to understand how to read the data and other things. And this is a place where I basically set the path to read the files. There are my files are here in this particular file path. So I set the directory to that. And later on, I'll also there are like a lot of CSV file that needs to be read for this analysis. So I read using this read.csv command. So that's the command that is used for reading any CSV files. And there are several other commands like read.xl, and for that you need to have a separate package. And as I told you, there are like quite a lot of packages that you need to work with eye tracking data. And hence I use like plier, dplier, ggplot, IDR, and these are things used for data manipulation and also for plotting. Okay. And for that, what I'm supposed to do is like I need to load them up, and I call if I want to load them up, I need to call a function called as library. Okay. And later on, you can also manipulate the data. In the data manipulation, you can see I use dplier pipes, and it's good if you're not having any introduction to programming, and it's better to learn about dplier package. And with the dplier package, it is easy for us to manipulate any data. So I'm just doing it here, and maybe I'll just show you one other example where what I can do with this data. So once I read and then manipulated the data, I can also create some beautiful graph. And in the sense, let me show you one example. Okay, so there is one here. And what I'm trying to do is like I wrote the code, and that can produce a graph. And we just need to wait for the system to produce a graph. Since it is shared, and it might take some time to get it executed. But you can see this is ggplot package, and within so that's getting crashed because of sharing. But that is quite possible. Okay, and where you can basically create beautiful visualizations with the data that you're having. And in the RStudio, you basically have one preview pane, and also you have some sort of a pane to show work with data. And here in this case, you can see the one on the top left corner is your pane where it's called as where you can write the codes. And then this is called as console, where your codes will get executed, where you can also write code here. Okay. And then this one is called as your environment pane. This tells you what kind of objects you're having. And the last one at the right hand side corner is your plot pane. Or it's like this is your files pane, where you can find the files that is there in this directory, right, once you do it. And it also shows the packages that you have installed, and also it shows the plots that you have created. Okay. Since the R session got aborted and I need to do everything again, and you can basically run the data like this, and then load the packages. And this is quite easy now when you look at it, but it might be daunting when you're learning for the first time. But once you get used to this particular aspect, this will be really easy. Okay, so these are small code chunks that I use for analyzing the data. And once that is done, then basically you can go ahead and then work with this particular data set. Right? And maybe since the R is getting crashed, I will not be able to show the extensive options that is available in R programming. And I will get back to the normal presentation that we have. Okay. Now let's go back to the presentation. Okay, share it. Okay, so now I gave you a very brief overview of R programming because there's a lot of things that you can do with R programming. And there's like GG animate package. With the GG animate package, you can basically create a visualization like what I showed you earlier. This animation can be done with your R programming. Okay, and which means like you have an image and then you render the image on the top of the eye tracking data, and then you create this sort of eye movements. And this still needs a bit of a background of R programming knowledge, and also this can also be done in Python, I hope, and which is also possible. But for my research, I basically use R programming. Now, people might be wondering, like, what kind of career opportunities that is available. Like, I know I need to work with biosignals, and also I know that I need R programming. So, is there any opportunity available for students? When I learn things, definitely. And once you are comfortable with R programming and once you have some sort of exposure to analyzing data, and you can get into data analyst position with top marketing research institute like AC Nielsen and other things. And later on, also you can also work as a data scientist because you work with a lot of data, because you manipulated data with eye tracking, with biosignals. You will normally have, you handle like huge volumes of data. Even in my case, I normally have like 50,000 rows for one person. And then you need to crunch all of them into one row. And hence what happens is that you'll normally get exposed to a lot of data crunching, data manipulation. Hence you have a chance to get into any IT company as a data scientist. Or you can work like me as a researcher and at universities, and you can also get an opportunity like that. Or you can also join kind of a IT company or like in any MNC as in the research and development wing with many other aspects. What I covered is a very basic information of biosignals, and there are a lot of biosignals available, and you can also scan brain images, and also you can get some sort of information. There is something called as fMRI, and there are also called as a magnetron encephalography, where it sends some magnetic signals on the brain and then collects the brain patterns. And I think Professor Brijesh will talk more about it in your sessions. But as of now, what I dealt is the basics of biosignal. Okay, and then we are at the end of the session, and I thank Professor Dr. Akhilesh and Professor Dr. Kamlesh and Chairman Anand Soni and Mr. Brijesh for inviting me to share my learning. And I'll be happy to take any questions if you have. And thank you once again.
Now, I would like to request Brijesh sir to unmute yourself and for query transfer control to Ankita madam.
Okay. Thank you, Bala sir, for a nice presentation. And now I would like to transfer control to the Ankita ma'am for query session.
Sure.
Ankita ma'am.
Thank you, Brijesh sir. And good morning, Bala Chandan sir. So can we take a few questions here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this question is from Dr. Kamlesh Chore sir. And the question goes like, what are the ethical concerns arises related with the safety and confidentiality of personal information of the consumers? How would we deal with this?
Okay, so that's a very nice question, because now the world is actually moving into this world of ethics. So what we do normally is to avoid this ethical concerns. We initially inform the participants saying that, okay, and you are coming for the eye tracking experiment and you need to sit for at least around 20-30 minutes. And then we get a consent from them. And then we inform and ask whether you're comfortable in sitting for 30 minutes time. If you have some sort of issues in like sitting for a long time and we don't take them in. And also in terms of confidentiality, in terms of personal information, we do not divulge any information. Every single participant are coded, and they will just get a name. They will not provide their name. We'll give them a tag. We'll say that participant A1 or A2 or B1, B2, and their information is not divulged to any of the in any public platform. And that's how we do. And also with the university that I worked earlier, we normally have an ethics committee. So we'll put every single thing that we do with the participant as a document, and this will be sent to the ethics committee. And the ethics committee will evaluate whether it is good or bad. And if there is any sort of discrepancy, and they will tell that, okay, you cannot really do this experiment. Hence, it is wise to always consult some ethics committee before designing an experiment. Yeah, I hope that answered, and then I'm happy to take a few other questions if you want. Maybe you need to unmute yourself, Ankita. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And again, this question is from Dr. Kamlesh Chaure, sir. Like you discussed dyslexia, so can we detect other diseases with this technology?
It definitely is, especially there is something called attentional blindness, right? Because people do not attend to every single thing that they see, and that can also be detected. And also we can have a look at how people shop. Imagine that I'm a shopper, a kind of regular shopper. I'm impulsive in nature. Right? The way that I look at shopping, when I shop in a store, will be different from a person who is kind of rational in nature. And nowadays, with the proliferation of online retail stores, what we do is we are influenced by many factors, and that can also be tracked, whether you're impulsive or not impulsive, and those kind of information can also be tracked. And quite a lot of research is happening in Bangalore University, where I did my research. I talked about how this hand movement and coordination of this hand movement is happening. And also they see if you are addicted and what sort of eye movements that you are having. Right? This is not only with eye tracking. There are a lot of other biosignal measuring devices like fMRI. And then your brain waves can also be tracked and then can also be assessed.
Thank you, sir. And this question is from me. Can dyslexia lead to depression, or is dyslexia related to depression?
Okay, so it's a nice question, but I'm not an expert in that area. So I'm not a clinical psychologist. I'm a consumer psychologist. But I can partially answer your question, right? Because if you're dyslexic, and what happens is that people who are near to you can also have some sort of social stigma on you, and this can lead to depression in the individual. And this depression can lead to the other forms of what happened to the actor who acted in MS Dhoni movie can also happen. But there's kind of some sort of link, because people who are dyslexic are treated very differently in the society, and they are not really taken care much. And so as a education institute, as a university, and we are supposed to give some sort of support to them. And what happens with our university is that we normally have a dyslexic the team which talks about learning and disability. And if you feel that you are having some sort of disability, you can go and register with them. You will have a separate counseling. And also, we also have some sort of team where you will have an extended exam hours. If a person who is not dyslexic, if they write for 2 hours, and this guy will be given 3 hours to write the exam. So that is how we manage things, so that we can reduce the depression of those people who are dyslexic.
Thank you, sir. And I'm taking the last question, that is from one of the students of co-rated. Can we channel the electronic infusions of the neurons of brain to manipulate our thoughts, enhance memory in particular? And this question is from Harsh Sharma.
Yeah, it's that's a beautiful question, right? In terms of manipulating people's thought. And that is actually carried out since we're trying to see whether we can, one is that whether we can store our brain data, and can we use that for future. And that is actually done by Elon Musk. They have a very big team who are researching on that. And manipulating thoughts is a bit tricky. I'm not really sure how that can be done or not. But I think people can do it. But that's too intrusive, and that will go beyond the ethics that is set up by researchers. Okay, because you are going and changing some sort of memory and implanting memory, and that will not be accepted ethically. But
the small experiments, the analysis of the things, how we will store the data, how we'll actually gain the output from these small things. So firstly, I just going to dig deep and to enhance the knowledge of the students to how we will connect that and what is the architecture actually existing and what we are doing. At last, I will go by the implementation of one module in the smart education of RFID based attendance system in taken into consideration of Raspberry Pi and the sensors. So I will start the session from the term which is IoT. The term is IoT is basically the Kevin Aston is known as the father of internet, as everybody knows. In 1999, he has coined that term and he had described the system. Internet is connected to the physical world via the ubiquitous sensor. तो IoT इज द इंटर नेटवर्किंग ऑफ द फिजिकल डिवाइस. यहाँ पे होता क्या है, देखिए बच्चे क्या समझते हैं या हम भी अगर किसी को बताते हैं तो ये समझते हैं कि सिर्फ फिजिकल डिवाइसेस को कनेक्ट करना, इट इज जस्ट रिलेटेड टू द एम्बेडेड थिंग्स. नो, वी कैन कनेक्ट. नाउ द टर्म इज चेंज. Now it is not IoT everything. So we are just connecting everything. If I can take the example of smart home. So my home is connected, my AC is connected, my refrigerator is connected with the internet. So everything is going to be connected in the era. So IoT is internet networking of the physical devices, basically refer to the connected things and the smart devices present in my environment. So what actually we want is that we want our complete surrounding to be more interactive and more smart. So this is basically the IoT is, and how we will work is that what exactly the need. The need is first of all we want the interconnection. पहले हमें चाहिए कि हम devices को देखें, because students and the faculties there is always a gap कि बच्चे को डिवाइसेस कौन सी गैदर करानी है, कैसे स्टार्ट कराना है. सो आई विल गो बाय द मिक्सचर ऑफ द लैंग्वेज दैट आई विल यूज इन माय थ्रू आउट लेक्चर, so that it will be easily to grasp by the students, because English to English is little bit heavy for the student to grasp the concept, because the complete technical language is bit difficult to grasp the students. So interconnection of the various devices, machine, appliances and the data. So this is what the IoT is, that how we will connect the smart environment. Basically, we know my fridge will speak, my refrigerator will automatically talk about the requirement, that what exactly in the fridge, what is finish it out. Yes, we know, but how we will do, we actually don't know. So where I am focusing is, मैं कहाँ आपको बताऊंगी कि कैसे IoT को जो है आप use करेंगे in the practical learning, that how we will use that particular IoT thing to that education system that I am applying upon. So why to need to drive IoT is changing trends, changing environment, and we want innovative ways and the creative ways to move upon to it. Interconnecting of devices basically want is related to the storage capacity, the computing, the analysis, where we are, as sir has already shown to you, that analysis in the R programming, we can go by the storage of the cloud computing, Firebase we can use the different other database system also. Advanced analytics, where we can go by the data cleaning approach, we can go by the big marketing automations are there. So these are the forces that how we are driving and what exactly the need is. क्योंकि क्रिएटिविटी जो है हमारी बढ़ रही है, हम चीजों से एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं that what will be the future. So if we are expecting something, so naturally we have to change our ways. So this is basically the motive of the IoT is that if Internet of Things will come, चीजें आपस में communicate करें, बात करें, ह्यूमन से interact करें, so naturally we need to change something. So this is all about that why we need IoT. These are the benefits, that why we will use this technology and why we people are saying nowadays that this will be the future only. क्यों कह रहे हैं हम कि यही हमारा फ्यूचर है, हम क्यों इस तरीके का, बिकॉज एज यू नो दैट एवरीबडी इज अटेंडिंग दिस मीटिंग वाया द स्मार्टफोन. Sensors are available in your smartphone. Proximity sensor is there, humidity sensor is there, some different sensors are there to sense automatically. But when they sense, how we will receiving the data from this sense, and how we will categorize the data and getting the exactly output from the IoT device. तो दिस इज द फ्लो कि हमें यही नहीं पता है कि डेटा में कौन सा सेंसर हम लगाएं, कैसे काम करें. तो ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है जहाँ पे फ्लॉ है. आज भी यूनिवर्सिटीज में इतने बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, इवन आई एम टीचिंग, तो स्टिल देयर इज ए गैप कि हम बच्चों को नहीं समझा पा रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से आप कौन कौन से सेंसर्स कलेक्ट कीजिए, कौन सा सेंसर यूज करें, कौन सी प्रोग्रामिंग यूज करें, और कैसे आईओटी को आप अपने छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट के साथ एक्सपेरिमेंट करके एक बेटर आउटकम लेकर आ सकते हैं. तो स्टार्ट आपको करना है छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स को लेकर, जहां से आप उसके बाद आप अपनी रिसर्च के साथ इसको क्लब कर सकते हैं. इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द पीएचडी स्टूडेंट, so even they people don't know that how they can start their research from at what area. So if they have some experience in related to that technology, so naturally they can emphasize more upon it because they have their fundamentals very clear. So when you are getting and going to the PhD to get admission, so firstly you have to clear your problem and work emphasize upon that what exactly it is and how we are doing. So these are the major benefits that why we will use this future technology is the efficient resource utilization is my first point, that there are resources. अगर मैं smart education की भी बात करूं, everybody is having their mobile phone, we have portal, we have attendance system, but we have to use all these resources very effectively and we have to make all the resources very smart. आपको स्मार्ट बनाना है अपनी मोबाइल फोन फीचर्स में, आपको उस पर्टिकुलर जो हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज हैं उनको और ज्यादा इफेक्टिव यूटिलाइज करना है. अगर अटेंडेंस है तो आपको पता है कि हम लोग जो है फेस कैमरा डिटेक्शन लगाएं, हम वीडियो कैमरा लगाएं, सो दैट वी कैन गो बाय. वी आर हैविंग अ टेक्नोलॉजी, एजुकेशन में हमारे पास सफिशिएंट टेक्नोलॉजी है, बट sufficient technology के साथ we want to make them effectively utilized to produce more data and effective data, so that we get the precise data and exactly why we want, क्यों करें हम effective utilization to get that data on time. This is very important कि हमें time लेने में decision making के लिए we want particular time frame, so that जब
फुल स्क्रीन कर दीजिए पीपीटी.
yes. So here we are having the other benefits, the reduce the human efforts. Basically, if we are using and moving the technology, so it will reduce the human efforts, lower the cost and bringing the more productivity, real time marketing and the real time decision making analytics, better support for customer experiences and the high quality of data that we are using, because we are taking the data not manually, now we are collecting the data through the machine. So these are the application areas. As we know that IoT is going to be a future technology, and in the consumer automotive, as we already know, industry 4.0 has came. Automation industry का जो feature है वो आ चुका है, 4.0 पे हम काम कर रहे हैं. So these are the applications. अगर आप ये कहते हैं कि मैं 4.0 पे काम कर रहा हूँ और मेरा जो एजुकेटर और जो स्टूडेंट है वो उतना कैपेबल नहीं है इंडस्ट्री रिक्वायरमेंट को मीट करने के लिए, तो ऑलवेज देयर इज ए गैप ऑफ प्लेसमेंट. सो दिस इज अ बिग क्वेश्चन इन द इंडिया कि बच्चे पढ़ तो रहे हैं, मैक्सिमम डिग्री होल्डर्स आर गोइंग टू बी क्लियर देयर डिग्रीज, but still they actually don't know the practical knowledge and the practicalities of the thing lie in the industry actually. So I want to bridge that gap also. Students must know that how the actually process is going on and what they actually learn to cope up that particular thing and how they will going on to that pace, कैसे बच्चे जो है उस पेस पर आएंगे. So as we know that many students are connected with us in this lecture, so this is very fruitful session to you everybody कि आपको पता चलेगा कि कैसे आप डिफरेंट एप्लीकेशंस में किन किन रोल्स आप उठा सकते हैं आईओटी के, कहाँ कहाँ पे आप अपने स्किल्स को शार्पन कर सकते हैं, so that you people will got the best placements in the industry. Because the thing is that ultimately why we are doing degrees, we are doing engineering. So this is the only perspective कि एक practical तरीके से आप अपने mind को prepare होकर निकलें. जब आप इस education sector से, इस particular college university से जब आप बाहर जाएंगे, आपके लिए तो बहुत अच्छा है कि आपके जो स्कूल कॉलेज है वो इतना अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म आपको दिया है. Webinar the people are arranging to you, these are the very valuable sessions to you. तो ये बहुत अच्छा है कि आपको इतनी नॉलेज मिल रही है कि आप ये ग्रेस्प करके आगे देख सकते हैं कि आपके रोल्स कहाँ कहाँ हैं. बिकॉज आप ये देखिए, अब ये जो कोरोना पेंडेमिक चल रहा है इसकी वजह से भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स आपको आएंगी. तो ये प्रॉब्लम से आपको कॉप अप कैसे करना है, तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप अभी से उन टेक्नोलॉजीज पे धीरे धीरे अपनी कमांड करें. So these are the major applications that IoT, where the IoT is working upon: automotive field, medical field, environmental, agriculture is the field, military, industrial, and the retail industry. So ultimately, I can say कि IoT जो है, it is ubiquitous, सब जगह आपका काम आ रहा है. So this is the example that I have taken, smart home. IoT, because I am inspired from this concept to make that concept will be applicable to the smart education. So IoT is expected to the significant application to contribute the quality of life if my home is smart. मैं कैसे बोलूंगी मेरा होम जो है वो स्मार्ट है, मेरा घर स्मार्ट है? Because it automatically open the garage when I am reaching the home, prepare the coffee, climate control system. So we want basically automation in each and everything, कि मेरा काम अपने आप हो जाए. मे बी हो सकता है टेक्नोलॉजीज हैज प्रोज एंड कॉन्स, मतलब इतना ज्यादा हमें लेजी भी बना दिया है टेक्नोलॉजी ने, बट स्टिल इट हैज मैनी बेनिफिट्स. And the thing is that how we are doing all these things together to make a different system and how we'll research upon it. So here is the main thing that
स्क्रीन शेयर स्लाइड शो कर दीजिए.
sorry,
स्लाइड शो फुल स्क्रीन.
so there is a full screen, I guess.
F5, press F5.
So it's already pressed, I guess. F5 is
No,
there.
it's a PowerPoint open. Here 90% is written. 90% लिखा है नीचे.
Okay.
उसके बाजू के आइकन को क्लिक कर दीजिए.
It's not, I think.
Actually, candidates are viewing on mobile, na? That's why we have to full.
Sir, I think it's not visible to me that.
Only you have to press F5.
Yes, sir. I have already pressed that F5.
Otherwise, मैडम नीचे एक 90% दिख रहा है आपको? एकदम नीचे.
Yeah.
नीचे 90%, 100%. हाँ, 100% के बाजू में एक आइकन है मैडम, जस्ट लगा हुआ एक आइकन है. 3 आइकन में राइट वाला आइकन.
Yes.
बस उसे प्रेस कर दीजिए. हाँ.
Now it's fine.
It's not full screen. Yes, it's now full screen.
Now it's full screen, I guess.
Now what full screen, but it's not actual one.
Actually, from my side, this is the slideshow feature. F5 ही मैंने press किया हुआ है, so.
There might be one key function.
Just a moment.
चलेगा? You can continue with this because we have limitation of time. So please continue your session.
Yes.
Around
So,
30 minutes we have remaining.
Yes. So these are the protocols that we have already changed. As you know that existing current protocols for the computer science students जैसे connected हैं, so they know कि we have a different layers as per the OSI model, and what are the expected protocol in the IoT. So at the application layer we are using MQTT at the broker protocol, because at this protocol we are using स्कोप है आपका मैसेज टेलीमेट्री प्रोटोकॉल है. एट द ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर we are using UDP and TCP. In the networking layer, as we already know, IPv4 is exhausted and we are moving through the IPv6. At the data link layer, there are many protocols that I can say: Ethernet, Wi-Fi, GSM, LoRaWAN, Sigfox, LETM. So these are the protocols. So this is basically a major change, that if we are applying the IoT field and we are going to the to apply the IoT, वी हैव टू चेंज सम प्रोटोकॉल्स. अगर आप बात करते हैं कि मैं पुराने स्टैंडर्ड पे काम कर लूं, नो, वी वांट सम एम्बेडेड थिंग्स. अभी आपको चीजों को भी कनेक्ट करना है, आपको कम्युनिकेशन इन्वायरमेंट पे भी आना है. सो वी हैव टू चेंज दी प्रोटोकॉल्स, we have to change some addressing schemes to add particular entities that are in the living environment, because all the things are living objects, real time environment we are talking about. So we have to change the address scheme, as well as we have to change some ontologies if we have to work upon. And the internet protocol stack, it will be changed as per the requirement of the devices. So this is basically, you can say, the 5-layer architecture. The basic architecture is, there is a summation of the architecture in the perception layer. Perception layer is your sensing layer, जहाँ पे आप कहते हैं कि मैंने डिवाइस को कनेक्ट कर दिया, so things will be sensed. So this is the perception layer. The transmission layer, how we are transmitting the data and information from one system to another system. At the middle layer, this is very important layer for you, जहाँ पे आप जितने भी डिसीजन मेकिंग है वहां लेते हैं. आप अपनी प्रोग्रामिंग को यूज करते हैं, डेटाबेस में डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, पाइथन पे आप जो है एनालिसिस लगाते हैं. सो दिस इज द मिडल लेयर, आई कैन से डेटा प्रोसेसिंग लेयर, जहाँ पे आप डिसीजन मेकिंग भी करते हैं, क्योंकि आपने डेटा को डिफरेंट चीजों से कलेक्ट किया है, एंड वी वांट टू अप्लाई सम प्रोसेसिंग. And the smart application layer is here, where I can apply these particular things, like mobile applications we are having nowadays. एक प्ले स्टोर पे इतनी एप्लीकेशंस एक दिन में आ रही हैं, और आप देख रहे हो कि हर चीज के लिए एक डिफरेंट एप्लीकेशन है. इफ यू वांट टू स्टे फिट, देन देयर इज अ एप्लीकेशन. देन योर मोबाइल इज कंप्लीटली ए डिवाइस जहां पे बहुत सारी चीजों का सम्मेशन आपको मिल रहा है. एंड एट लास्ट इज द बिजनेस लेयर. Business layer is related to the manufacturer and the supplier, who are giving the complete solutions to you. So this layer is the complete above layer to that particular business model where it is doing. So there are basically the 4 layers we are working upon. This is the behind architecture, I can say, जो IoT में काम कर रहा है completely. How your data is going to be flow, how this flow is moving through the perception layer to application layer. So this is basically that the actually how your layers are comprised of in the IoT. So what are the different career opportunities for the students? As I have taken 10 companies right now: SAP, Samsung, Intel, Google, Oracle. These companies are having in their opening in bulk, because these companies are hiring freshers in IoT. They know that how the people are exploring. But एक चीज मैं यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स को एडवाइस करूंगी, IoT सिर्फ IoT ही नहीं, you have to work upon the command over the basic programming. अगर आप कह रहे हैं कि मैं डेवलपर बन जाऊं, मैं कोडर बन जाऊं, मैं टेस्टर बन जाऊं. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
But आप presentation close करके एक बार उसको वापस से restart करके, and then you can share your entire screen. तो presentation हमें full screen visible होगी. Right now, students presentation clearly देख नहीं पा रहे हैं because they are using their mobile phones.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
I'm really sorry, but please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, ma'am.
डियर कैंडिडेट्स, आपके लिए रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म, अटेंडेंस फॉर्म या फीडबैक फॉर्म तैयार है. प्लीज रिफ्रेश योर स्क्रीन. AKS यूनिवर्सिटी पोर्टल पर डियर कैंडिडेट, प्लीज रिफ्रेश योर स्क्रीन. Go to aksuniversity.ac.in and fill the form. Ankita madam, please continue.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, but it is the same.
It is the same, but actually from my side this is the complete view that I have taken.
Ma'am, have you shared the entire screen?
Yes, I am sharing the entire screen feature and I have clicked upon it already. So I don't know that why it is happening from my side to you.
ओके मैडम, कोई बात नहीं, ये तो टेक्नोलॉजी है, कहीं भी धोखा दे देती है. यू कैन कंटिन्यू.
Yeah, actually I have already clicked upon F5 and the slideshow is going on from my side and here is a complete screen.
Okay, ma'am, no issue. You can continue with the presentation.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for the interruption.
no problem, no problem.
Okay, ma'am.
So here are the top companies as the IoT career opportunities are here with the companies Cisco, Apple, IBM, Oracle, Google. So these are the companies where the students can go because the company have very good startup salary in the IoT. तो बेसिकली यहाँ मैं स्टूडेंट्स को सजेस्ट करूंगी एक चीज मेरी तरफ से आप लोगों को ये एडवाइस है कि आप बेसिकली आईओटी की तरफ तो आपको जाना ही है बट स्टिल यू हैव टू वर्क अपॉन योर बेसिक्स एंड द फंडामेंटल्स दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट because I have already faced many things and many interviews that I have but still the students are failed even to answer about the fundamental concepts. So this is very important कि आप अभी से अपने कॉन्सेप्ट पे काम करिए ये बहुत जरूरी है ताकि हमारे बच्चे अच्छी अच्छी जगह प्लेस हो. So this is the only thing that I want to suggest you here is because बच्चे को पता है कि उसको कहाँ जाना है उसका ड्रीम कंपनी क्या है बट उतना उसका प्रिपरेशन नहीं है. So always there is a flaw. So आपको टेक्नोलॉजी सीखना है बट यू हैव टू गो टू डिग डीप. आपको थोड़ा सा अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा टू clear that particular interview. So these are the engineering roles. As you know that after learning the IoT, आपको जो है कौन कौन से roles, job roles आपको offer होंगे being an engineer. So IoT product manager, IoT architect, developer, data scientist, robot coordinator, cloud engineer, industrial UI and UX यानी कि front end जो आपका designer है ये रोल्स आपको ऑफर होंगे एज स्टूडेंट्स नो कि उनको यही नहीं पता कि उनको कौन से रोल के लिए काम करना है. दे कैन वर्क देयर दे कैन वर्क अपॉन देयर एरियाज इन वेरी सेग्रीगेटेड वे. उनको कंसाइज नहीं पता होता कि मुझे पर्टिकुलरली कैसे अपने आप को स्टार्ट करना है. सो दीज आर दी रोल्स इन द इंडस्ट्री यू विल गेट. So according to that, if you want to go for the data processing way, so start learning with the complete system of data collection, data processing, what are the different schemes, what are the analysis, what are the formulas, what are the different programming languages available, have to learn basically. आपको ये सब रोल्स के लिए आपको थोड़ा सा फंडामेंटल्स पे काम करने की जरूरत है. So what is the salary basically expected when you learn IoT? As you can see in the graph, there is salary in the lakhs. If I talk about the average salary is lies between 15 to 25 lakhs. जो कि हर बच्चा ये कहता है कि मैं बीइंग अ फ्रेशर भी मुझे मिलता है ना कहीं पे पैकेज तो वो 8-9 lakhs का एक जनरल एवरेज हम कहते हैं कि बच्चे को मिल जाए कोई भी बच्चा है और एवरेज सैलरीज ही आप करती हैं एज यू कैन सी. तो दिस इज माई व्यूज अपॉन इट कि आपकी करियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज ऑलवेज लाइज जब आप अपने आप को तैयार करते हैं और एक अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ बाहर आते हैं अच्छे कॉन्सेप्ट साथ बाहर आते हैं. तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट है आपके लिए. नेक्स्ट मैं आपको बता रही हूँ यहाँ पे कि आपको जो प्रोग्रामिंग करनी है जैसे मेरा एरिया है स्मार्ट एजुकेशन करूंगी बच्चे को एक रिस्ट बैंड पहना रही हूँ साथ में मैं उसकी मोबाइल ऐप को बहुत अच्छा जो है उसके अंदर बहुत सारे फीचर्स उसको दे रही हूँ. Input function is there. If the card is available and store the number to the card is true, then access is granted. If the card read from the as you can taken the input, but if their card is false, then it will be printf access denied. Then after that, my terminal is closed. TTY close function is there. So this is the main function that you can go and write in the Python programming. And after that writing this program, you have to save this program with the py extension, because you have already connected with the hardware. The next is what exactly the loop is doing. If I can say that this is the loop that I have done with the experiment of this, that has a card been detected, then there is a card that I have taken is RC. If the card is present, then there is some function, the card is inserted with the serial number, and there is a serial dot print card detected. Then there is a loop that because number of students are entering and RFID is taking it by their names and their serial number is going to be print, I have used the delay function because one student came, then there is a delay of some nanoseconds, so that the next students will get the entry from that particular part. So this is basically that how I have done this experiment, and how we can automate all the process of attendance and how the faculty are receiving this attendance in their mobile phones. Suppose I am a faculty और मेरे पास दिन में 3 लेक्चर हैं, तो मैं उन 3 लेक्चर को कलर कोडिंग स्कीम से किस तरीके से जो है स्टूडेंट्स के साथ कनेक्ट करूंगी. So this is how that I have automate the complete attendance module for my university, that there will be no discrepancy or flaws in the attendance. स्टूडेंट्स को एट द एंड ऑफ द सेमेस्टर कोई परेशानी ना हो कि उनको अटेंडेंस नहीं मिल रही. और आई हैव डन different module as well in this smart education. Then there is a wristband, and I have taken the data from the smart wristband for the students for its medical condition. सपोज स्टूडेंट्स आज इज जो आज बच्चा जैसे ही एंट्री करता है, if he or she is not feeling well, then it will be automatically detected by that particular wristband that he is having, and the information is transmitted to my server that student is not well, and in the emergency situation the message is delivered to its parents as well as in the admin or its the coordinated department or the concerned department जहाँ का वो बच्चा है. So in this way we are completely going to be automate all the process of the attendance, as well as we are putting the different sensors in the university, like your pressure sensor, temperature sensor, the humidity sensor, कि बच्चे की परफॉर्मेंस का मैंने स्मार्ट बोर्ड लगाया है, तो क्या बच्चे का जो परफॉर्मेंस है वो नॉर्मल बोर्ड से स्मार्ट बोर्ड पे कुछ डिफरेंट आ रहा है. अगर बच्चे को विजुअलाइज इफेक्ट दिया जा रहा है तो क्या परफॉर्मेंस आ रहा है. So it means what, there is a huge collection of data, as I can say about the education industry. बहुत सारा डेटा कलेक्ट करने के लिए हमारे पास है. So there is a problem of collecting that data and perform the analysis of to work upon that data. So it is also a challenge, and I am working upon that challenge, that how I will connect that particular data. And I will in future, that what exactly my plan is, that I will get all the data from the sensors and exact decisioning value will be performed, and according to collected data my real time decision will be performed. And I have incorporated the machine learning and artificial intelligence features in it, classification and the hidden Markov model that I will apply, and the other different machine learning factors to clubbed into it, so that the outcome of the university will be improved. Students will get placed more and more. They people will learn. They will not waste their time. And as I talk about the engineering institution, that outcome based learning is there. So if outcome based education is there, we have to work upon the outcome of the students, कि बच्चे ने कितना सीखा है, what actually their performance is. Virtual labs are there, we can go by some virtual setups are there, so in which the technology IoT is playing a very big role. So आई कैन से IoT बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और जहां जहां हम उसको यूज कर सकते हैं, आई कांट से कि आप उसको पूरे इन्वायरमेंट में डाल सकते हैं, बट आई कैन से दैट if we are going to be integrate the IoT technology with the education system, our smartness will be more enhanced, and it will be more productive environment for the students as well to grasp something. So these are the things that we can go and integrate all these things and change step by step to the university process and going to be automate the process. Because if I talk about the IoT, still there is no standard exist regarding the education, no any framework exists regarding the education. But I am working upon layer by layer to get my work done, so that at last there will be a crux that performance of the students will be enhanced, and the placements of the students will be enhanced. Because placement is the major problem, that students will not get placed, they will be going into depression. There are some other factors, because they people are the एजुकेटर्स, दे पीपल विल बी द फ्यूचर ऑफ आर्स. जो आज के बच्चे हैं वही हमारा फ्यूचर है, तो उन्हीं बच्चों के ऊपर ही एम्फेसाइज करना है. बच्चे आगे चल के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो किस तरीके से जो है जो कल के एजुकेटर्स वही हैं, दे आर द यूथ, दे आर आर फ्यूचर, तो वो किस तरीके से टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करेंगे. ऑल्दो टेक्नोलॉजी के प्रोज एंड कॉन्स बहुत हैं, मैं आपको यहाँ पे बार बार यही कहूंगी, but still we are adopting it to make our processes easy. And especially the main factor is time factor, because we want that all the things have to receive in a particular time frame, so that we'll take the decision early and in a very efficient manner. So here the points to think about it, that as you know, corona pandemic is going on, and do you think that corona virus forced positive change in the higher education? What are the different ways of the coronavirus pandemic should reshape the education?
Thank you very much. It was a great session delivered by you. I hope I am audible. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Brijesh Soni, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Sorry for disturbing in between that your presentation. बीच में कुछ थोड़ा सा टेक्निकली स्लाइड प्रेजेंटेशन का इशू हुआ था, so sorry for that. Our both experts are with us, so I would like to request Ankita madam to please deliver session of AKS University, inform us about AKS University. Till that, participants fill the attendance form. There is a huge response coming from attendance form, so please fill the attendance form. There will be a webinar certification for international webinar attendance, so please fill this form. Over to Ankita madam.
Thank you, Akhilesh sir, for handing over the session to me. Now I'm presenting my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, madam.
Brajesh sir,
Yes, madam.
Okay, so I'm here to tell you about the university. This is AKS University, which is located in Satna, Madhya Pradesh, and it was established under the Act of the Government of Madhya Pradesh that is passed on 23rd November 2011. It is an initiative of Rajiv Gandhi Group of Institutions. It is promoted by the eminent RGI Group of Institutions and value-driven professionals with an enviable track record of molding almost 12,000 students over the last 19 years, and it is guided by the principle of think global and act local. There is a library, not a single library. A departmental library is here in AKS University, and there is a central library, which is the center of attraction for all students as well as the faculty members. and it is ranked number 1 by the Times of India Engineering Institute's ranking in 2016. Here in AKS University, the students who scored more than 800 will get a transfer scholarship, and till now 500 students have got a scholarship. These are the different streams which are in the AKS University, that is engineering, management, commerce, science, humanities, arts, fashion, education, computer application, pharmacy, and agriculture. And this is the beautiful campus of my university, our university. It is 100 plus acres campus, Wi-Fi enabled campus. We have faculties from IITs and NITs, and we have MOUs with different industries and foreign universities. And in the last picture, you can clearly view how beautiful AKS University looks during night. And the students are also visited foreign educational tours. And if any student did a great job, or if he or she did any innovation, then university की तरफ से उसे foreign भी भेजा गया है. And this is the auditorium of AKS University, जिसमें हम कोई भी workshop, seminars या कोई भी gathering कर सकते हैं. AKS University is the remote center for IIT Bombay and also Red Hat Academia, and many of students have certified with Red Hat. AKS University means amicable knowledge solution, the university with difference. And for more details, if you want to know more about this university, you can visit www.aksuniversity.ac.in. So thank you so much for your attention. Stay home, stay safe, and happy learning. Thank you, sir. And over to you, Brijesh, sir. Hello. I think there is some connection issue. So with this, I would like to, sir, can I conclude this session?
Yes, madam, please. I would like to invite you for saying vote of thanks.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So thank you so much, Balachandra, sir, and Simi ma'am, for your precious time, and you have taken such an informative session. So thank you so much for being with us throughout this webinar. And I would like to thank Dr. Kamlesh Chaure, sir, and Ram, sir, for being with us throughout the session. And I would like to show my gratitude, my sincere gratitude towards the IT department of AKS University, because without you, it would not be possible to connect with such an experts like Balachandra sir and Simi ma'am. So thank you so much for that. And IT department is, they are supporting, they have massive support throughout the webinar series, which the computer department is conducted. And I would like to thank Anand Soni sir, GK Pradhan sir, and Deepak sir for joining us. And last but not the least, I would like to say a big thank you to all the participants who are consistently attending this webinar during this COVID. And lastly, stay safe, stay healthy, and do well. So thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Akhilesh sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kamlesh Chaure, sir, for this association. This session was good. It was a virtual meet. I am expecting with our experts that in future we will in actual meet. So, Kamlesh Chaure, sir, Balachandra, sir, and Simi madam, I would like to terminate today's session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please AKS यूनिवर्सिटी के वेब पोर्टल पर फॉर्म भर दीजिए. Thanks a lot for being with us. Thank you very much.